It is it is me, Bourbon Bougie, and I am here again with Carol, the BCBA. And if you guys remember, I went live with Carol a week or so ago. It might have been 2 weeks ago, and we had a very lively conversation. You want to remind everybody what we were talking about?
Yeah, we were talking about just men's general behavior and what women can do to counteract their behavior, and it was like counter control and what they
Because
can do.
I kept on,
Yeah,
what did I kept trying to call it counter something.
culture or something like that. Yeah.
Counterculture. It is like it's counter control, counter control. So I brought her back, y'all, because on April the 16th, we're going to have a live Zoom chat. We're going to have a live Zoom chat where she comes in and she's going to talk to us about intermittent reinforcement.
Yep.
Where it's like the smart term for breadcrumbing, and
Yeah.
this is going to come from the behavior analyst point of view. Like, what are they really thinking with this behavior? So I'm gonna let Carol explain because this woman already has, y'all, this woman has 77 PowerPoint slides already created. I told her we could go live and we can do this Zoom, and this woman created a Zoom presentation with 77 slides overnight. Like, who in the world does that?
I just have a lot of stuff going on, and when I get my stuff done, I get it done. I generally don't waste time on things. Kind of something a skill I've taught myself.
So for this Zoom is going to be limited. We're only going to have 15%, 15 people that can sit down with us, but we are going to charge. We're charging $30 for this Zoom. So if you are interested in learning behavior, how these people are melting down, the ways they are trying to pull you back into the fold, this is going to be the chat for you. If you have children and you think that you need to learn some what is it, intermittent reinforcement?
Well,
No?
yeah, well, intermittent reinforcement is kind of explaining, like, there's nothing wrong with intermittent reinforcement. It's a reinforcement schedule. So how you deliver a reward.
Right.
Um, but the way that we're going to talk about it in the live is basically explaining how breadcrumbing is a form of that, and it's kind of an unhealthy form of it.
Okay.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'll teach women skills, whether they want to get out of that or they want to stay in a relationship. And of course, obviously, if they're in abuse, I don't want them to be in it at all. They just need to get out of that situation. But I'll teach women ways to handle in both situations. So if they're married, and generally they have a decent marriage, but there's some things they want their husband to sharpen up on, or if they have, or they just may be sick of his crap and they want to get into, they just want to go. So I can teach them skills, and then we'll also get into what I talked about before about data collection and how to do that, because there is a certain way under behavior analysis of how you record data. So I'm going to teach them that too.
Okay. So what are we talking? We have April 16th. I'm just doing the whole regurgitating this
Yep.
information so we make sure we have it. April 16th, 15 participants, $30. This is April 16th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I do want to let y'all know that this will be at least 90 minutes to so that we have a chance for Carol to teach the class and make sure that if there's any questions to ask, if there's even time for that.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a nice little gathering, and we didn't want it to be too big
Right.
because we want to make sure that we can control the information and make sure that everybody
Yeah.
learns what you're trying to pass
Right.
out.
And if they have, your listeners and your followers, if they have any further questions after the class, my contact information will be there, so they can always email me and then set up one-on-one time more if they need more guidance and instruction, more one-on-one. Because I know I work with kids, and I've said that, but I also work with adults. So, and I'm covered by, it depends on what insurance you have and what state you're in. I might be licensed in that state, and I think I have like 6 or 7 different insurance plans that I take in my practice. So I can work with that too. So
All right. Cool. So, is there anything? Okay. So, you have been talking to me about all of these other meltdowns and everything. Should we go into that in another time chat, or
no,
does
we can talk about it briefly here.
does
So
any of it connect with what we're seeing?
yeah, oh yeah. I'm laughing because I'm looking. It's the men's behavior is very typical of when I get a new client in that may have a tantrum. And it's just basically, you know, how before I talked about briefly about the functions of behavior and how we talked about how counter control or control is a function of behavior. It's an atypical one, but it is a function. But there are four functions that are more common. So we get into escape, attention seeking or base behavior, automatic reinforcement, and tangible. So we kind of talked about that. So for the most part, most people understand what those are. And what I see with the men's reaction to the 4B movement coming to United States and, you know, maybe Europe and other, you know, Canada, things like that. It's attention based behavior and it's escape behavior. So the attention based behavior is they're kind of freaking out that women are not wanting to give them the attention.
Okay.
They really are. They're just like, what? What do you mean you're not going to pay attention to me anymore? What
Right.
do you mean? And it's like the women are like, they're actually, you guys are doing a good job by kind of just saying it is what it is. And that's why I'm seeing a lot of women do. And actually, that's good. I'm glad you guys are doing that because that's really how I handle tantrums when I work with kids. So when they have their tantrums, I acknowledge their feelings. Like, I know you're upset, but we can't do it like this anymore. So I'm just going to wait it out for you to either listen to what I'm telling you so you can get what you want, or we're just going to wait until you calm down and I'm just going to go do what I need to do until then. So
Okay.
the kids kind of like they kind of get it together and like, okay, well, she is going to give me what I want, but I just got to calm down and listen to her so I can do what she needs me to do.
Mhm.
And so that's
So,
what the men are doing with the tension. So ladies, the tension, the tantrum, some of that's attention. They're freaking out because they're like, what is going on? You're not gonna give me attention anymore? No. No, why would I? If you're gonna hurt me, why would I? So the
you
other and the other thing I'll say this is the escape behavior is where their reaction to the 4G thing. I think it's funny because they're trying, just like with the kids I work with. They're when I have something I want them to do and the kids find it aversive, some kids will try to run away from that situation. They'll use
mhm.
tantrums to do that. They will throw things, they'll cuss me out. They will do things like that.
Mm,
So it's basically I would look at
okay.
it this way, ladies. It's a tantrum that I would have with the kids, but in a bigger body. And but the problem is with men is that their tantrums can kill people. Their tantrums can hurt people. That's the difference. The little ones, I'm not worried about that as much because it's like, okay, I just stand back and I let, I don't put my hands on them and I just let them have their tantrum. Because even in your tantrum, your feelings are your feelings. And I acknowledge that. And it's like, you know what? I know you're scared. I know you're angry, but you can't hurt people in your tantrum. You
You
just
you
can't.
you know what I'm thinking? And I saw someone say this, that we have to gentle parent their
Yeah.
feelings. Like
Yeah, I
I
know.
feel, I know you're I know you're having big feelings over this.
Yes,
I sense the big feelings, but
yes,
we can't have this conversation while you're
not like
throwing
this.
things. You're mad. You're mad, Derek. You're mad, Brandon. I can't do this with you right now. Your feelings are too big.
Right. And so we need to calm your feelings down until you can talk about it. And the way to get what you want, which is they want your attention, ladies. Trust me, they want your attention. And that's why I saw your video on why pick me's. And I will say this about pick me's. The reason why the pick me's are freaking out is because you have to think about it from, if you look at it from the perspective of, if you are not getting the attention you want from the people that you want, you're going to do whatever you can to help m- reinforce that behavior that'll bring them to you. That is what that's what pick me's are doing. They just want the attention. So when if they can get any kind of attention, that reinforces that, hey, they do value me. Now we all know there's another thing I will say in behavior analysis. When I want someone to work on a task that's kind of Herculean, I have to give them more work, more, excuse me, not more work, more reward to match that. It's called the matching law. So for the men, the pick me's, and we keep, I see a lot of ladies ask, why don't they want that? Well, the energy is there. It's right there. Like, why would I want to? There's no energy, there's no work into that. There's
Hmm.
more work with you ladies that kind of like fight back. There's more work. So for them, it's not aversive. It's not too aversive. And they know it's more work. So they're willing to put in more work because you're the potential reward,
Okay.
if that makes sense. Like,
Okay.
you're the reward. So the pick me's are not the reward. They're too easy. So think about that. If you get something, if you, for example, I love sushi, okay?
Right.
So, but if I eat too much sushi, I get satiated. The men view the pick me's like that. So, yeah, it's kind of fun, but if you kind of go along with it too much, they get satiated on that and it's boring.
Got
With
it.
us, with you ladies, it's not boring. So they don't know with you when they're going to be reinforced and be like given a pat on the head and say, you know what? I think you're doing a good job. Or, no, I don't like what you're doing, and you don't reward them. So it's more that intermittent reinforcement on the women's side that they are arguing with. So that's more work, and there's more that's more reinforcing to them. Remember, it's all about what the motivating operation is. And the motivator is higher on the side with the women that they argue with.
Okay.
That's why they don't want to go away. They really don't. They're mad right now because right now ladies are actually doing what I'm seeing, what I do with when I work with kids and teenagers. You're not feeding into the tantrum. You're like, okay, well, you're gonna do your 4G, okay,
Right.
and that's perfect. That's actually I beautiful job, ladies. I'm gonna hand clap to that because that's what you should do. Don't feed into the tantrum. Just think it's a
Okay.
tantrum. That's it. It's just bigger. It's just that I want you to make sure, because I can see some men overreacting and doing possibly really harmful behavior to women. So if you need to do stuff to do self protection, get into, the classes to help you with that. However you handle that, that's okay too. But we should be doing that anyway. Just, we should be trying to protect ourselves anyway, because when you're out, because anything can happen. So self defense classes are good things to have anyway under your belt, just regardless.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. So I am going to wrap this with just a reminder that we are going to have intermittent, we're going to discuss intermittent reinforcement and how it is basically breadcrumbing from a behavior analyst perspective. She's going to have a PowerPoint presentation. I will send a link with the Zoom once the $30 is paid. This is a professional that went to school for all this, so she has all the smart things in her head to give to her to us. So $30, April 16th, 90 minutes of a PowerPoint. So be looking for that, ladies. Be
All
looking
right.
for that.
Bye,
All right.
ladies. I will see you later.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye bye.